Hello, I want to show you quickly the power of Terraform, how to deploy environments, configure infrastructure as code, and this is an example in this GCP environment. So we don't have any VMware environment, no virtual machine. So let's head to the code section. We got the Explorer here. Let's create a sample web server. To configure this web server, we need some variables. Terraform. I prepared some stuff here in my lab currently. It's US Central 1. Depending on the region where you're operating in, and I leverage some GCP lab. This is the project ID I have currently. That's it, we're set. The region, the zone, and the project. Let's create the main Terraform file. And here we declare what servers do we want to configure with Terraform. In this case is Google. We reference the variables before, region and zone. And then we can build up on what we want to add as code. So one is the VPC itself. We call it Web Server VPC. Within the VPC we need a subnet, and this 10/24, the region that we have. Within the subnet, we need a resource. In this case, it's a file module to allow HTTP access to. And we can define port 80, and the source range here is from everywhere, just for testing purposes. Then once the server is created, we want to see visible on the server where it's located. So we're grabbing these variables once more. We are creating to reach the server, we need a network interface and reference the network interface to the VPC and the web server subnet. And once the server is started, we want the server to be to present an Nginx server. So with this, we're posting in here that the Nginx server will be included, and the project IDs is the code I created with the sake of AI to get the project, the region, the zone, the public IP address. And finally, once we're finished, we want to see as an output the entire public IP address where the server is reachable upon. That's basically the idea of the code. Let's quickly go through. Alright, it's fine, otherwise there's an attention icon. So when we switch to the console, we check the web server, the folder where the Terraform files are, and then we get Terraform init to initialize what is code is required, in this case just for Google, for the GCP environment. And we plan the code, what is required, so what changes need to be performed here for the network interfaces, for the VPC for example. This is for the subnet. Once we agree, we go to Terraform apply. The Terraform code once more checks what is required, what code needs to be implemented, and then we can verify yes. So with the backend API integration, the VPC is created. It's still creating. This usually takes just a few seconds to create the entire code. VPC is created, now creating the subnet, the firewall rule. Now creating the Nginx VM itself. Alright, we're good. So once I refresh this one, we see the Nginx instance, the zone we applied with the variable, internal IP and the external, and the same is the output is the public IP address where we can reach the server upon. We can directly access via SSH, but in this case it's easier to just copy the address, HTTP, and try to access. That's it, the server is online. Nginx web server is installed, and it reads the attributes and variables out of the GCP environment and displays this on the public web server. I hope this shows the power of Terraform for infrastructure as code.